If you know me, you know I like uniqueness. I like uniqueness of strategy and personality. And another thing I've always liked over the years is a player who's named themselves after what they're going to do. People are just playing random ranked games. Usually they're named after their username they had when they were 8. But some players, like the Legend of Wall, for example, the username tells you what is going to happen. He full walls you. Another one you've probably seen is the Legend of I Sit, who quite literally sits back and is not going to be aggressive. Well, a few years ago, there was a player who kind of told you what he was going to do, only there was a little bit of secrecy about it, and his name was You Got Douched, backwards. So if you flip that around and you see that they picked Persians, you might know they're going to do the Persian douche strat. Now, I haven't made videos on this individual in a couple years. However, with the map in the map pool right now, he is going ham, and I have some amazing games to show you all. All right, guys, so here we are, and these players are around 1,500 elo, which is very good. And I have had this player on my Steam friends list for many years now. It's also been on my list of players to check up on, and I hadn't seen him active, and there's some more stuff we can get into later. But I'm happy to see him return to the channel here. So the map is Glade, and I think this map can be played in so many different ways. At higher levels, you tend to see players wall more defensively. You can occasionally actually see people get walled in on this map. And what most players are going to do is they're going to look at this and say, oh, I've got everything in here that I need. I've got my food. I've got my berries, my gold, my stone. I can just wall this. We'll then use that safety to make army and push out and control the map where you've got lots of stone, lots of golds, and whatnot. So the opponent here has picked the humans. Sneaky Stab, a name I recognize, has been around the community. And Sneaky Stab has picked a Civ, which is insane if you want a wall, right? You wall this, any pressure that comes in, like archers or scouts or even towers, it doesn't really matter for the humans, because if you have a good build and you can go up to feudal age quickly, you could build 2 TCs in feudal and get a massive villager lead, then fight back. Humans are often seen as like one of the most overpowered civs if you can get it right on closed maps, so it's very dangerous. But, you know, Red's not really going to wall now. Red's probably going to wall after pushing in some deer. Red is really focused on getting all the food right now, first and foremost, underneath that TC. So here comes Blue. Here comes You Got Douched. You Got Douched. Man, I got so much to say. I'm so excited to talk about this guy. He's looking for the opening. Obviously knows the map. And he went very early, and he ends up finding it here. And he brought in his elephant early, or rhino, which is part of the build. And pathing's got a little wonky, but he's trying to find out what his opponent's got going on here. And runs directly into the town center. Now, obviously, that's going to be pretty important later, because the strategy we're going to see is the Persian douche, which was named 20 years ago. I think people called each other douches more back then. It's just, when someone does this strategy to you, you want to call them a douche. I imagine that's how that's why it was named this. This villager's weak now for Blue, so she's got a purpose. She's here. And listen, Blue is just... The whole strat is to be annoying, but Blue is an absolute pro. If you watch the old videos, you will see that Blue doesn't just TC drop. There's other things too. And so for now, this villager doesn't actually get walled in. So now the villager's being chased. Now we actually do have a couple palisades to save her, and now she's protected. Red got disrupted by all of this. Red got really nervous. And Red is going to wall the front. Super smart. Red's like, okay, whatever is going to happen, we don't want to let them come into my base. Whatever. Red had a bit of a rough moment there, forgot some houses. Funnily enough, this map is so small, and Red still does not see that Blue's villager is here. That's kind of crazy, but now obviously Red's going to see it. And my suggestion would be, Red, for every villager that rushes you, you just match it. You match that number, or you can even send one more. And so that's what Red's going to do. Red's going to send 2 more, and Red brings the scout back, and Blue's a good click waller. So Blue gets 1 palisade, another palisade, another palisade. Red was maybe thinking about taking this gold, and now Red might think he can't take that gold. And so now you look back at Blue, and you're like, honestly, Blue could have played pretty standard from here. Blue doesn't need to do anything more. Blue has disrupted Red. Like, Red's Dark Age is not as smooth as they would have wanted. But that's not what Blue does. This is all setup play. He is already deep into the opponent's psyche. And Scout's still running around. This villager is going to just finish off that gold. And Red, I think, really focused right now. Let's just get Feudal Age. Let's stick to the game plan. We're the Cumans. Cumans are super strong. And there was a Vill here. I think Red likes to wall in the opponent and then also wall themselves and then have 2 town centers very safe. So, Red sees this. So, I haven't been able to speak to Red. But Red obviously sees that. I think knows his opponent's Persians. Maybe even knows the player's reputation, right? Because of the name, because of being in videos. Maybe they faced each other before. And Cumans have additional HP on their palisade walls. So Red is going to add more walls. Really smart move here from Red. Walling up, keeping the pressure out is really smart. And Blue is going to town center drop anyways, which is crazy, right? I thought Blue, when I saw this, I thought Blue was just not going to do this. Because the idea of the strat is to TC drop the opponent's TC. In this case, take the stone away, take the berries. Nope, Blue's like, you know what? I live here now. It's important to point out that Red's villager got sniped over here. And there's also this blue villager hanging around. I think the other one died as well. And yeah, there goes Blue. So this is what he does. All right, so he is going to break in. Now, he's going to try and break in. Red has added 3 layers of palisade walls to keep him out. Let me talk over the basics of the TC drop, okay? It is pressure with villagers nonstop before military comes out, so the opponent's villagers have to react, and their economy is not efficient. It is always set up your economy so you're always producing vills, which Blue has on berries. It's always have enough wood and stone for the next town center. And it is just pressure, pressure, pressure. And Red's probably so annoyed that other layer of wall wasn't a bit further forward, but probably just never expected this. Blue deletes that one and invests another 275 wood and 100 stone into another TC. And now, now Red is like, I gotta add more walls now to stop this from happening again. Red laughs, drops the 11. Like, Red probably can't believe what the hell is happening here. Neither could I when I saw it. And Red is on the way to Feudal Age, thinking about what to do. Now, you do not want to ever TC war the Persians, okay? Ideally, you are going for some type of military fast to try and stop this next one from coming down. Blue shoots that. Blue's going to come through. Here come the Vills. Blue's going to Vill rush this. Now, Blue does actually need stone. You only start with 200 stone, so Blue's going to have to wait a while for the next TC. But behind this, again, you've still got food income. There's still wood income. There's, like, your own build order for this. Okay, Red could consider a tower here. And Red will drop a tower just to stop Blue from doing this again and to stop Blue from breaking through. This does, of course, mean that Red doesn't have the stone for a second TC, which was kind of the game plan with the Cumans. And I think Red, at this point, if you want to make archers or something, you can just use your Vills and take down these palisade walls. Dark Age palisade walls are so weak against villagers, but it's a mental thing. You look at your base and you're just like, well, it's walled, right? And it changes your thinking. It's also just annoying. Like it's just annoying to do, and it's not a common strat. So Blue's still waiting, but Blue's still always producing villagers. So Vill count's actually somewhat even, but Blue's, of course, behind an age. But if Red gets locked in here, Red has not been able to escape with anything. So Red thought about walling Blue in, didn't work. Red's thought about walling Blue out. Is that going to work? Because we have another wall area, which has just enough space for a town center. And Red probably thought he had it locked down with the 11. And now Blue drops the 11. And Blue's laughing because Blue's like, hey, buddy, I'm doing it again. I'm getting closer to your town center. Guys, I don't know how bad your day has been or how bad your week has been. But it's safe to say that we're all happy that we are not Red right now, because this is an extremely stressful situation. Blue is slowly, methodically closing in. Blue builds town center number 3 on the front of the opponent's base. And now this town center can shoot down that tower. Tower only killed 2 vills. And blue is getting closer. And look, still has food income back at home. Still has villagers on wood, the perfect amount. Now has villagers on stone for another TC. And blue actually cancels some vills. Blue's going to go into the feudal age now. Or on the way to the feudal age. Now red gets to the second TC. So you don't have a lot of options on where you build this. When you go for the second town center play, you want food eco. So this is a fine spot, in my opinion, because you want farms. And obviously, like I've seen countless instances where the humans just outboom any type of pressure. So it's not... It's an uncomfortable situation for red, yes. Is this a bad play to focus on? I don't really think so. I think red's thinking is they can still go for towers in defense here, while also creating the vills. Blue has broken through now, and so can walk in, and is clearly just kind of waiting for the opportunity to build a second TC, or not a second TC, but another TC on the front here. And there is space right here. So the walls might have just been unlucky, but something you really have to try, the legend Rubenstock, the greatest TC drop ever, he always said it doesn't work, but I would love to see a house here. Like a house right there, just blocking that area off. Like, I don't know what red was expecting to happen, but here it comes again. Red's probably thinking there's no way it can continue to happen again, because this is insane. He's leapfrogging TCs, and red is chasing down this villager. Red is going to drop a tower now to try and deny this. Obviously, red denies this. It's probably game over. If all these vills die, it's GG. Red is like, whew, okay. Thankfully, that was not very close. But blue pulls away the villager that was being attacked by the tower. Blue's doing the same again. Blue's obviously very experienced. Doesn't lose a vill. And, well, now that tower can be shot down. Blue getting some walls down, so red's villagers get kind of trapped as well. So if red doesn't actually take down these little palisade segments, those villagers are going to be trapped. And another TC is up. Now, in a normal game, you look at this, and you look at how many villagers they have, and you look at res collected. The thing is, red can't do anything with those resources right now. Now, hold on. Big moment in this game. I got to pause because there's a lot to break down. This is red deleting part of his wall, and he's got all this open space if he can run by and delete the rest to get out. And blue sees this right now. I guess I could have just said that without pausing, but it felt important. And then red sees the house and is probably thinking, shoot, like if I try and run now, I path into the TC and I lose all my vills. So the time for red to escape may be too far gone. Red got completely played here. Red just did not notice this. Those villagers are all stuck. They all go down. But blue realizes the threat is there. And so there's now an area of wall from blue. Now, guys, I encourage you, if you like this, if you find this player interesting, I have old videos with him. Okay, we'll put them in the description. On other maps, he walls people into. On Arabia, on Hideout, it's TC drop into walling them in, because that is really the strongest thing. You want to shoot down all of their TCs, and you want to vill rush them. You need to know where everything is. The other thing you would do, which you can't do right now because there's a bug where it doesn't work, is he would actually click farms and steal them and then delete them. That is not possible right now. So, yeah, blue's got this villager being chased by red. Blue just lost that villager there. But blue is in feudal age now, which allowed him to get wheelbarrow for the faster villagers, which is why red isn't able to get this kill, for example. And actually, the real benefit of going to feudal is not, as here comes red with a vill, it's not anything TC related beyond the wheelbarrow upgrade, I guess. It's actually purely being able to do something other than TC drop. And that would be to build towers. So, I'm sure some of you guys are, like, screaming at your computers right now. And you're like, bro, red, make rams, right? Humans, the only civ that can make rams in feudal age, and there's a TC right here on his face, right? Well, red's a little busy at the moment. Sometimes the games get so chaotic you can't really think. But red is going to come to that conclusion here. Don't you worry, all you rammers out there. Come on, red. You're so close to taking that tower down. You're so close, but there's just so little space to move. The TC has already killed 10 villagers and is killing the farmers now as well. In this scenario, by the way, if this farm is here, farmers who run out of food elsewhere are just going to go there. So, like, you got to delete those farms. Red's doing it now. And they're not pro players, right? 15 or 1600 is a solid level. A lot of what gets you to this level, guys, is just commitment. It doesn't even really matter what till, like what you commit to. I find there's a lot of players who are pretty rusty in a lot of ways, but they're just hard committed to their game plan and they stick with it, and it either works or it doesn't. Right now, red is sticking with the 2 TCs in eco. Blue is sticking with the town center drop. And red's actually kind of keeping blue here, which is a positive. Red trying to get back to this gold now. Like, red chose the worst possible time to try and click all these palisades. And, of course, blue is here with another villager because blue's just a freaking rat. And I mean that as a compliment. Behind this, if you're wondering what blue is doing for food eco, there is currently nothing. I don't know if blue looks back home, but this would be a good time for some farming eco. There is a blacksmith as well, probably for fletching. But blue is stalled out economically. So red's lost a lot of vills, but red is producing more vills nonstop. And now blue adds the farms. So for now, there's no more villagers coming from blue, but this tower stays up because it's like right within the range of that TC. So red really needs to give up on this. But it's a problematic situation for red because red cannot build more than just that one more tower. There's 135 stone. So I think towering here wouldn't be bad. It's such a problem because you're just so stuck. You're just so freaking stuck. Blue actually, I mean, this is impressive. Just keep sending vills through. Nobody does this. This is such a maniac move. And the wheelbarrow play was 100% for this purpose. Blue actually walled that villager in a circle and is actually dropping a tower to disrupt the gold. And that's what red is going to save that tower for, so red can defend the gold. But yeah, guys. Red's actually thinking about siege now. Red didn't have the blacksmith. You need that before siege workshop. Red's gone full panic mode because of all this. But kills that villager, okay? We've got a siege workshop now and has a 20 villager lead. Blue's TC also, no, it's pretty weak. So actually, red could maybe consider just TC warring this. I personally don't hate that. I think that if you force blue into repairs and not, you know, delete it, like where else is blue going to place the TC right now? There's not really an option. That's fine. But you got to commit, blue. You got to commit, or sorry, red. Blue is going to build a barracks here. Red has been so stubborn. Red, you just got to let this tower go, dude. These strategies just make your brain turn to mush. You just got to let that tower go. The TC's killing way too much here. But red's like, finally. Okay, his TC is weak. I'm making rams now. This is going to be my way out of this. And rams can be good. Now, ideally, you have rams and military. So you have something to attack blue's vills. That's not so easy, though. You can see here that there is actually some... Okay, so I'm looking at the attack damage. I guess I was wrong. I thought villagers had an attack bonus against rams. I think sappers affects that later on in the game. But I guess they do not. But that is obviously the only thing that blue really has to deal with right now. And blue had a heads up here. Blue saw the siege workshop was there. Blue knew the rams could be coming. So here we go. We got 3 rams. Feels pretty good, right? And so first, red is going to focus on this tower. Now, red needs to repair this ram, which you need gold for. And there's not a lot of gold income. 1 ram goes down. Rams are just so big and thick and blocky, so they're bumping into each other here. And okay. So now the tower's down. And red hated that tower. But red, just because of the sense of urgency of the situation, probably trying to rush this a little bit too much, you know? That tower was good, dude. You just fall back and you just breathe. And then you wait for a couple more rams and then you push. But that's easy for me to say. How many people watching right now would be able to relax when you're up against all this aggression? And now blue drops the 11 taunt. I don't think there's many people that can really say they would. And so now red's got to go again. And now red's like, well, crap. Now I need more on golds again. And, of course, there's no mining camp. because there's farms there. And blue just tossing villagers underneath the TC as well. Town centers have more kills in this game than maybe any game ever. And blue back at home, still farming eco, still wood eco. Farms actually coming up out here. And blue's actually making a statement. So this is like TC drop number 4 has repaired this TC now. It's Persian, so it's never going down. And is now adding scouts. And in response to that, red is actually trying to mix in some spears, which is a great play as long as your spears don't get baited into the TC fire. I just feel like so much of red's focus has been on produce vills, produce vills, produce vills. Red hasn't really been able to think about, let's keep villagers alive a little bit here. I want to point something out here. This is going to help you guys or hurt you guys depending on the settings. Okay, so you see this repairing here. Okay, villagers repair from outside the TC if you just right-click your TC. So you just click it, right? They'll repair. What red did, out of habit, right? Because you sometimes will use repair hotkeys within a game. I could have sworn there was a moment. I'm sure we'll see it again. Okay. So that repair in the middle, your villagers will repair in the middle if you use the repair hotkey. So don't use the repair hotkey when you're being TC dropped because your vills are going to clump up in the middle and get hit. What might have actually happened there is that red's villagers just so happened to be standing in that location when he right-clicked it. But just food for thought. Because this might happen to you someday. And you need to know, okay? You need to have an idea of what's happening. So, okay, here we go. We got 3 rams again. Goal for red would be to take this TC down. Red cannot actually fit villagers inside of this TC right now because it's so low HP. These villagers are going to rush down a house. There's scouts now coming in from blue. This TC is still fully garrisoned. Blue's going to back away. Red is sick of this. Red is ready to finally push this. Is going to fill up the rams with vills and spears. Is coming back in for this tower. The spears really need to be out, though. And the spears are not out right now. And again, it's just like such a tough choke point. And it's sad to watch. It's frustrating to watch. The rams are not working because villagers are enough against the rams. Vills are enough. Vill rushing is OP, guys. Vill rushing is OP. TC drop with Persians is absolutely busted. I even talked about this in a Lowy the Legends cast the first time it was in ranked a couple months ago. It's really, really freaking strong. Red has lost 60 villagers. And red, I guess, okay, positives. Did take down that tower, but now blue's just going to make another tower. It's just horrible. It's painful for red. It's the same cycle over and over again. Only it's not going to be over and over again because blue can take resources around the map. Red cannot. So you eventually just run out of resources. Red can't go this way because there's walls. Red hasn't been desperate enough to try and run past this TC yet. So that could happen. The blue's attacking the tower. There's a spearman there from red. Blue scouts are going to end up going down. But blue is going to take tower v tower all day. And blue finally took this TC down. So the sign of an experienced TC dropper is the second you take down their town center, your vills are rushing or your vills are dropping another one. What will blue do here? I actually think just another tower would be pretty decent. These vills are just being patient. I wonder if blue's just staying in this because red might rush this tower down with vills. I'm not really sure. But here come a couple villagers now. Yep, there's going to be a tower. And so red will hold this position. For red, you can't take stone still. And now the TC doesn't actually range blue's villagers. So what are you supposed to do about the vills? The vill factory, aka the town center, is right here. Eventually red will just simply run out of stone. And these towers are within range of each other. Red panics. Red buys more stone. Oh, goodness. Everything's going wrong. Can you tell? This isn't getting much better. It's actually to the point where I feel really, 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 really bad casting this because, oh man, how red must have felt while seeing it. But this strategy isn't called Persian make you feel good about your day, make you feel good about yourself. It's not called Persian have a nice relaxing time. It's called Persian douche. So yeah, it's pretty brutal. So what I will do, because I'm feeling bad. Oh god, blue's gonna drop another TC. Here we go, just creeping in a little closer. Red will drop villagers into the towers, and the towers are getting hits. Risky from blue, who's killed 77 villagers, by the way. But if this TC goes up, the town center basically kills everything. The spoilers, TC's gonna go up. Blue's a crazy player. Yeah, so blue builds this TC, and now red says, okay, this is my chance. Catch me while you can, and goes to run. So, honestly, if red can get out right now, you can't, blue can't track everything. There's a lot of space out here. You can get to stone, you can get to gold. And so blue brings all these villagers right away to stonewall this. And red is going to have to break through immediately. Would have been really nice for red if red had enough stone for a tower. Unfortunately, he's never been able to take his own stone. Doesn't have the gold to buy any stone. Blue's TC is going to fire on anything that's around. And red can't break out right now because blue is getting some quick walls. And this is with stone walls now. We also have a tower here. And so red is basically coming to the conclusion, I'm completely trapped. I'm running out of more and more space. I think I've lost this game. And so when you're, at least for me, if I'm like tilted or frustrated or annoyed, I tend to play on a little bit longer. Or if someone goes for a crazy annoying strategy, I tend to fight a lot longer. And so red is basically going to do that. And what I'm not going to do is like have you guys witness red's pain and misery until he comes to the conclusion that he's dead at full speed. We're gonna 2x speed red's misery because this is the poor guy. He's made a militia. He's trying to get back to his farms. He's completely trapped in here. I mean, look at this from red's perspective. It's horrible. It's painful. Blue must be having a great time. Blue must be having so much fun. It must be insanely satisfying to beat someone this way. And, well, you know, if the 3 rams didn't cut it, 1 random ram's probably not going to cut it. And it is annoying, but it is really impressive. Like, you can tell that this is all blue does. He's gotten really good at it. I mean, 1500 elo. And definitely had the setup to build more TCs and to build more vills and all that the entire game. It was 1, 2... Was it 1? How many was it? It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? 6 separate TC drops? I might be getting the number wrong. But anyways, blue wins the game. Now, I got another game to show you, a very satisfying one. But before I get into that, you might have been thinking earlier, why didn't you really cast blue a lot the last couple of years, C90? And the answer is, first off, I think he became inactive. I didn't see him playing as much. The other thing was, 3 or 4 years ago, this might come as a shock to you, but the player who was doing the Persian douche was sometimes being a little, I don't know, douchey. And I don't really like to celebrate, you know, like trash talking or anything like that. And it was never too extreme, by the way. It was never too extreme. There's been way worse. And I'm not trying to give, you know, say too much about it. But I looked through his games, and he's not really doing that these days. They talked at the conclusion of this. Like blue obviously had dropped the 11, red had dropped 11s. They were laughing throughout. Sneaky Step said, how did you get the food deer? And then blue responded. And blue was like, yeah, I farmed. And said, you were unlucky because the rams could have worked or something. And maybe talked about the pathing. So there wasn't like this haha in your face. And I'm a big fan of, you know, treating how someone's acting in the now instead of the past. And yeah, his strategy's freaking annoying. But he's not rubbing it in people's faces with words. He's definitely rubbing people's faces with TCs and towers. So how do you beat this? What do you do? Like, on this map, it feels unbeatable, right? I've got another game for you. All right, guys, so here we have another game. Also, I feel like every time there's been someone who's going to lame an AoE 2 or TC drop or do anything really disruptive, they're always the players that pick orange, right? Like, he picks orange, which if you use your colors are going to look awful on this map, or it's going to be really hard to see on this map. I'm going to toggle him to the blue, though. And you got douched here in the blue. We obviously know what he's going to do. And then we got 10-Finger Tom here in the red. 10-Finger Tom, part of the T90 community, is playing in the T90 Community Cups, has actually really improved. I think he might have also featured in a YouTube video or so with community games. So I immediately saw this one and said, ooh, okay, we have like a regular viewer. What is this player going to do? And we got Koreans. Now, if you think about a normal game, Koreans could be good for town center rushing. Or sorry, not town center rushing. That's what Persians are good at. Like tower rushing. Also, what could be good, maybe some fast castle, maybe some war wagons. I gotta love how Red speaks, actually. Red tells the opponent lag spike screwed me up, I guess because of the bad deer push here. I mean, it works out for you, Red, because YouTube was going to be judging you, and now you explained it. But I did not tell Red that I was watching this game. He's going to find out once we get to YouTube. So here comes Blue again. Blue's looking for that opening, sending 2 villagers forward like last time. And the strategy seems pretty consistent. Obviously, lame if you can, be annoying, and then wall in that gold. I'm guessing that he wants to prevent people from getting into archers. Or even just using the gold to buy things can be really helpful. So, yeah, so Blue goes here. One of those villagers is going to wall. Now, there's elephants here. Red sees these vills from a mile away. And you really have to fight this back. And I think people just aren't really accustomed to this because this maybe happens 1 out of every 100 games. But the second you see 2 vills in your base, you match it with 2 vills of your own or send 1 more. Red is going to wall this up, which is what everyone's doing. We found out last time that does not help you. And now Red is kind of in, you know, realizing panic mode because the elephant's starting to go down. And Blue is going to lame this here. And that food can still be eaten, but it obviously is kind of slowly decaying. This villager gets walled in just for later, I guess. Like, that's basically what Blue does. It just leaves her there for later until Blue has the time, and this villager gets walled in as well. And so I actually am getting anxiety watching this. Let me know in the YouTube comments if at this point you're just like, oh, God, not a freaking again. It's funny. It's wild, but this is just not my play style. While I respect the commitment, it's frustrating to watch, and it certainly is frustrating to play. But that's part of it. Like, you're at war when you're playing ranked. And Red able to wall in Blue there, but Blue now gets a wall and walls in Red. And now Red is going to chase Blue, and now Blue's going to run away. And Red just needs to keep an eye on these vills and needs to be prepared for what is coming next. Problem for Red is the wall isn't up yet, and now it is. So in the final seconds, Red sees this. And I think in this moment, 10-Finger Tom obviously must know this is a TC drop. Let's keep the pressure out. Now, it wasn't perfect because this villager is now trapped, so this villager will die. Another villager is coming forward. And in the previous game, guys, it was Cumans. So their HP on their palisade walls are way stronger. So Dark Age palisades, kind of like I said in the previous game where you can take down the palisades around the gold, they're super weak. Like, look at how much damage these villagers dishing out against this palisade. So that means that you're probably going to need more palisades if Blue is committing more villagers. And Blue has a decision to make now. And the decision is we delete the TC and we build the TC here. And Red is probably thinking the same thing as the previous game. Like, holy crap, are you kidding me? Now, after watching the previous game, if this happens, guys, build a palisade wall line that doesn't leave a gap for a TC. Which is like the last freaking thing you're thinking about. Because no one just like, you know, TC drops forward and like hops forward. Everyone like YOLOs to TC your TC. But now players be on the lookout. You need to probably just palisade here. And then at least Blue has to take down a couple more walls. Because now Blue's set up. I mean, this is an incredible build. An incredible build. Blue creates a couple more vills. Says, all right, here we go. Blue's already preemptively going to stone to build the TC after the next one, which didn't happen in the previous game. Like, he's cooking. And so attacking for now, attacking for now, attacking for now. Gets 2 villagers going to stone, says that's enough, and now it's going to build another one. It's the same thing that happened to Red in the previous game, only worse. Because here, 10-Finger Tom is not Cumans, does not have the stronger Palisades, and, well, just lost his lumber camp to a villager. This is bad. Now, do you remember that moment, guys, in the previous game where Red thought about escaping and then Blue was able to get a quick wall, and then Blue had that oh crap moment, I need to wall him in? Okay? Well, Red is going to have a similar thinking here. You either stay here and you die like a pig to the TC drop, or you just have to just try and escape, right? You cannot get trapped here. This is only going to get worse. The 10-Finger Tom looking around, looking around, looking around. There's still not enough stone for Blue to build the next TC yet. And Blue deletes the TC. And Red was expecting the TC to go up right now. And Red says, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm freaking out of here. And is going to delete the walls and is going to, I mean, jailbreak. But it's not really a jailbreak because there's no walls in the first place. Those are only his own walls. And now he escapes. Now, I think Blue obviously screwed this one up a little bit. Probably should have stayed in the TC. Probably should have continued to produce vills. Just didn't have the stone to build that next TC yet. But now Red is out here. And now this is a completely different game. And I'm not even sure that Blue saw those villagers escape because the TC wasn't there. So, Blue is like waiting painfully, right? Like, please, 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 give me the stone. Finally gets the stone. Blue's going to drop this TC now. And so there it goes. But now there's hunt out here. There's stone out here. There's gold out here. And Blue is bringing a villager to wall. Red, for the love of God, do not come back here. Yeah, Red's villagers are here. And Blue is going to see this? Blue can see the deer anyways. Yeah, I mean, the villagers need to drop off food. There's not a mill out here. So some of them are actually coming back. And Blue is now set up to shoot this TC down. Red is on the way to Feudal Age. I actually love the fact that Red stayed in Dark Age and produced a lot more vills. Because a lot of times, on such low villager counts, you really struggle with the fast feudals. Yeah, and there goes Red. That's 14 villagers escaped. This is the key against this, guys. You think it's walling up and keeping them out. But no, because they're going to eventually break through to you, right? With the proper commitment, Persian town centers, and vill fighting, they're probably going to make it in. They might not, but at the very least, you need to have some safe eco out here. And look at Blue right now. Blue is freaking looking for it. It changes all of his focus. Because he's probably been here before, and he's got a lot to look at. And he doesn't have a scout either. So looking around with the villagers, thinking about where to pressure. And now we've got a barracks, which could mean Feudal Age could be incoming, and then maybe some army. This could still be really good for Blue if Blue can somehow get to archers. Yeah, Red looked at the TC and just thinks, can my TC get me to Feudal Age? Because obviously if you lose that before Feudal Age, it's a disaster. Red is going to make it to Feudal Age. Perfect timing there from 10-Finger Tom. And Blue couldn't find anything out here. Oh, no, that's not true. Found the mining camp. Okay, so has a target and is now going to make some army. So, yeah, it's a more complicated game now for Blue because Blue can't just tower rush. Blue, for example, went to gold with the villagers that are on stone, so the stone's not even there. And now Blue is going to vill fight the villagers that are still here. And we'll be churning out villager after villager after villager from this TC. So actually, Red needs to run with more, honestly. Red needs to run with more. I'm not sure about building a TC here. Building this TC feels like the safe play. Blue is here to try and stop this with the militia. And Red is just fighting back right now. Which I imagine is not going to be very successful for Red because Blue is normally the one who's used to microing all this. And so, Red, you're still walled because you didn't complete your gate. Red's going to attempt an escape here. Oh, no, there is a hole there. And yeah, Red is going to abandon their entire base to try and get out. And now blue is trying to wall red into this corner. This is absolutely insane. He wants red trapped again. Red somehow is on the way to Castle Age, though. Red has brought a lot of villagers to this. Blue doesn't have villagers behind it to be able to get the walls down. All red needs to do is just be able to click through. Villagers on the way from the left side. It's not enough. Red needs to click. Red can jailbreak legitimately this time. Needs to run. Needs to run. Is now running. These villagers are going down. It's not pretty. None of it's pretty. None of it's good. But red is getting to a new home. What I'd really like to see right now from red is a tower on this gold. I know that blue could technically TC drop it. But I think like that... Well, no, walls are fine. Walls are fine. You don't need the tower. You could save the stone. What I also wanted to see from red was the same thing, because this is part 2. Blue's trying to wall you in again. Split up and separate with villagers. So these 2 villagers on stone, blue's not going to see that. Blue's going to be looking here. Because blue thinks they're going to escape once. They're not going to escape twice. Maybe I'm wrong, by the way. Like, blue really seems to be looking around with these militia. And blue now is on the way to feudal age and is bringing the vills. And shocker, blue wants to probably wall in red and TC drop this very location. It's a crazy game. So, luckily, Koreans, they get the guard tower upgrade for free. And wow, yeah, blue actually found this. This is a player who's just so well prepped with this. So blue's going to focus on this. Yeah, Koreans get the guard tower upgrade for free. So there's now a tower. It is Castle Age versus Dark Age for now. In 2 seconds, it'll be feudal. And that tower is up. We are going to see another tower here from red. We're also going to see a rocket cart from the siege workshop. And blue will attempt to take the tower down. Villagers still have a bonus versus buildings, but it's not a feudal age watchtower anymore. And so 2 towers next to each other with Koreans, pretty strong. Plus there's a rocket cart. And blue has been able to break through here, but the distraction is probably worth it. Red might lose those vills. And blue's now stuck. But he's now a player who doesn't really know what to do. I think he was thinking about going military because he needed military because the villagers escaped. I don't know what type of shot that was from the rocket cart. That's more like it. He doesn't have the stone. Like, he's come back to the stone to maybe build another TC. Technically, blue could just play a normal game now and add farms, but then you're stuck in an area red can see, and red will be coming to you. And the little escape from red to get access to golds and to just make this more difficult for the TC dropper seems to be doing the job right now. Now, it's only 23 vills. But this eco is safe now. And the rocket cart also safe for the time being. Blue's going to add scouts. Like, normally, against the when you're TC dropping, you're thinking the opponent will just run out of res. I think blue might be looking around to see if red still has eco here. But no. Red's here, and red's not going to run out of resources because red has all the resources except for stone in this little bubble. And 1 scout... not going to be enough against the rocket cart. And blue is going to try. I guess he was counting on the scout killing the rocket cart. Okay. Is he distracting? Okay, there he goes. There's the TC, which is absolutely insane. This player's crazy. Anyways, he's building the TC. Red's going to garrison into the tower. The TC's at 40%. Here comes blue. But rocket carts are going to absolutely melt the villagers here. Plus, of course, there's the guard tower. Also, red's TC is killing the man-at-arms and the scouts. And blue, who's still in feudal age, gets the TC denied and calls the GG. And that is how you beat the strategy. Now, to be clear, it's not you beat it by like making the specific types of units here. No, it's you beat it by spreading out and leaving. I think red got a little dangerous keeping everything together. But yeah, having different groups of villagers around the map makes it really difficult for a player who needs you in one spot to pressure. And blue Could have maybe done other things differently if those villagers wouldn't have escaped. So now, honestly, though, if we go back here, like this is the dangerous thing, okay? If we go back and we look at this, Blue's in pressure mode right now, but if Blue just has a villager walling this right now, just does this earlier, so Red can never go out like that. Very different situation. Also, Blue deleted this TC, which is probably the reason Red ran. Like, let's look. Red's looking. Red thinks right now he's stuck because there's a TC there. Okay, then the TC goes down, and that actually opens it up in Red's mind to run. Technically, when that TC's there with no vills, Red could have run anyways, but players don't think like that. So this was also a little bit of an oopsie from Blue. What I'm trying to say is this is actually, this can be very strong, and this can only get better as far as Blue's perspective is concerned, because he was just a little late to the wall. But at the same time, the focus is doing damage and vill fighting and TC dropping. And however many, 27 palisades, that's a lot of wood. I guess these walls was maybe just 15, but still, that's wood, that's villager time, and there's not very good economies. So it's not as easy as I'm suggesting. So yeah, let me know what you think about this, guys. The legend of You Got Douched is still out there douching, so if you see him, try and use some of my tricks. I think the walling was good. Wall, though, in walls that actually block the TC foundation. Like, don't wall with a large gap for them to drop a TC in. That is a mistake a lot of players are making. And then, I mean, you're going to lose vills anyways. Like, the first game, Red lost freaking 90 vills. If Red just yeeted 20 of them underneath the TC before, you know, drop the tower on the wall before it was stone walls and broke through, that's probably better. You really just gotta escape against this on this map. Now, other maps, You Got Douched is playing, and he still plays it well. He still walls people in. He still makes it messy. So if you're interested in seeing more games from this guy, please let me know. Now, I said earlier I didn't cover a lot of games from him because he was, A, inactive, but also in the past just made a couple comments that rubbed me the wrong way, and I thought I don't want to promote that. I also said he's gotten better in that regard, so I'm like, hey, strategy's kind of crazy. Let's continue to cast his games. I don't know if he still does it. I'm going to try and reach out to him. I'll most likely have another video about him, but I need to tell you this thing that he used to do, okay? So in AoE 2, there are clans, and it's like one of those things they added to the game, but they've never touched, and there's really no like crazy support for it. But there is a clans tab, and there is an invite notification if someone invites you to a clan. So I could create like the official clan, and then let's say I played with you in a game. I could then be like, oh, I like that guy. I want to invite him to my clan. So I invite you to the clan, and there's going to be this pop-up, and it will say, so-and-so has invited you to the official clan. And then you can say yes or no. He has a douched clan, or a You Got Douched clan. And if he beats you, again, this was like 3 or 4 years ago, but when he beats you, you then leave the game, you're at the main menu, and you receive a pop-up that says, you have been invited to the You Got Douched clan. I don't know if people ever joined this clan, but that is next level trolling. To be able to give them that additional little reminder that they just got douched, whew, that's next level, dude. I appreciate the pettiness. So I thought that was funny. Again, I have no clue if that's still happening. But I know this happened because I played against him, and he, sent that to me. And I think I mentioned it in the earlier videos as well. So anyways, that was a mouthful. That was a really cool game. Here's the res collected. Well played to 10 Finger Tom. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I will leave it at that. Lots of content coming up. Lots of YouTube-only stuff. So really appreciate the likes and the comments on these videos. It lets me know that the extra effort into diving into the games and searching for the games and casting the games off of like big events on streams and stuff like that is worth the investment. So once again, thank you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.